Mic check, mic check. What's going on? Welcome into another episode of the KZ Community Beat. Tis I, your host, Ross Martinez. And for episode 44, I had to do it big. We're now 44 eps in, 44 stories. And I brought out this guy. You may know him as Tightest Whitest. Others in the community know him by his government name that he don't like to go by, Brian Yarbrough. From raps to movies to community outreach, this man's got his hands all over Peoria and Peorian entertainment. Born and raised in P-Town.
Yeah.
We got Tightest Whitest in the house. What up, B?
He is here. What's going on? History in the making today.
Hey, we've been trying to do this since I got to town, man.
And it's just always been hit or miss, but look where we at now.
I think we're two of the busiest cats in this town.
Brother, like when we tried to link up, I was like, what you got going on this weekend? You're like, I got 3 events. I'm like, I got 6. You're like, well, next week I got 12. I got 14. Like, we're battling for events, man.
It's like a little thing of pride. See who got a little bit more of it.
Today, I lied to everybody. Everyone thinks I'm working.
Hey, they think I'm working. We just having a conversation. You see my boss
They think I'm in the
around?
studio right now. Well, I am in the studio, technically. That's how I get away with the lie.
Ain't that alive? It's half truth.
I'm not at the vault, but I am at a vault.
So, hey, let's get into this, man.
Yes, sir.
You've been rapping for years.
Yes, sir.
I actually checked out one of your projects that was out. I was YouTubing you everything. I'm like, oh, my man got bars. Was that you on the R&B track?
Yep.
That was you doing R&B and raps?
I like to sing. I like to vocal coach. I like to do just about everything. Every genre. I write for artists all over the place.
So what was your first introduction into music? Like, you were like, yo,
man, it was here. I've always been like a funny guy. Like, and the story goes, man, I'm at one of these clubs and you got to it from the alley. I think it was even called 112 back then. And it was right here in Peoria. And they had rap battles, and it was fledgling. It hadn't really got started. So I always been funny, and someone would say, like, I dropped my cup, and I'll be like, what? Your mom's and I would do funny stuff, and they're like, you should go get up there and do something. So I just walked right up there, and they were like, man, you just get up there, I'll give you $100. So I'm like, cool, I'm like 22 years old. Got up there, and it just came out of me, and they're like, man, this is the tightest, whitest dude I ever heard, man. He's shutting it down up here. That's where the name came from, and that was the first time I had ever rapped, period, ever in any forum. And from that point on, that battle rap competition, I beat everybody in the industry in battle rap, from Stat Quo to Swine. I mean, you name them.
Yo, for real?
Everybody. I went to the Rap Olympics, dusted them off so bad, they edited out my stuff at the end of the project. That's how bad it was.
They edited you out of that?
Stat Quo was in there with Eminem, and that was their boy for the Rap Olympics in Cleveland. So yeah, it's been a bumpy ride, man. So because I remember a great ride.
I remember when I met you, bro. You're like, oh yeah, I've done this, I've done this. I'm like, oh snap! All right, let me check you out, because my lens sometimes isn't where it's supposed to be, and you always learning and growing. And once I checked you, I'm like, damn, my dude been doing a little.
You know. So it's just a huge passion, man. I love making music, man. I love talented people that make music. I just like to be around that. It gives you life. You know what I mean?
So let me ask this from like a social, like community type of venue. How did it feel being, when they're like, yo, that's the tightest, whitest dude here? So you probably was in rooms where you was the only white boy in there rapping, right?
Man, like my wife says, babe, it's just you again. So and I'm like, we just start laughing about it, but it's okay. I mean, you
ever felt out of place, or did you always feel like, oh, this is my scene?
Never, because like I grew up hard, very, very hard, very low income. I didn't have a lot. Like one birthday, I got a pair of sunglasses from the gas station that I had seen there before that were 50 cents. That was my birthday present. So it ain't, what you see now is a lot of work to be to this point, and people don't really understand where I came from. So it was really, really rough, but fortunately, when you grow up rough, there's rough people around you that can relate to you. So, the majority of my neighborhoods, I went to Kingman, that's dominantly black, So it's kind of just been a product of my environment.
So we're talking environment and growing up.
Yeah, so I learned to respect everybody, and just treat, people say, oh, you don't see color. Man, if you're real, you really don't, man. You only see color if someone's harmed. Then you can see the reaction from what someone else that saw color does. For me, I see the people. And let me tell you what, you got talent, man, I got you. You're a good person, I got you. If you're evil, man, I might flip you. I flip you to the good side.
You try to bring him over?
Yeah, I'll turn Darth Vader into Luke in like one weekend, trust me.
No, I mean...
God is good. Can I get an amen out there?
Amen. I can't sing, but I wish I... You make me... Shoot, baby. So we're talking about growing up in the Pete. Where were you raised here in town?
So I lived, at one point I was at Kingspark. It's a trailer court down at the bottom of the hill. At another point I lived on Pennsylvania Street. We used to get robbed a lot. We found out that the guy that lived up, because, like I say, we was low income. Mm-hmm. So we were living in a house where the people that lived on the next floor shared your access in. So they were coming down when my mom would leave and they were stealing stuff.
Damn.
We had one house that burnt down, another trailer park burnt down the day before Christmas, but spoiler alert, I didn't have anything under the tree anyway. Mom struggled, so. And, she was 15 when she had me. My dad was 21 something, never met him, never saw him. He ghosted her after that. Damn. So we grew up pretty hard, but it builds a lot in a person from an early age. So I use that ability of what I've learned to save people from having to go through that again, especially like with my kids. So I'm the father to them that I wish I had, and they're going to be even better versions of me and better versions of themselves. So I don't knock any of it, and I think I needed that pain and I needed that environment to be the type of person that I am now, and I'm real good with who I am. So that's kind of how it was. So a lot of fist fights, a lot of, I remember having to find small rocks to put in my fist because I got to go in this way through the school because these guys are at the front of the school. I got to go in the back. I'm going to have to fight this dude to get in. Just crazy. Yeah. So my mom, a lot of trips to the school, a lot of, at one point she told, man, this is a bust out of everybody. I thought I was in the big leagues because I finally got to go to a school in the Heights. And I was like, oh, this is a big league school.
That's the one.
Yeah, so Mr. Frost was the principal. He had a paddle, and this dude drilled holes in the paddle.
Oh, yeah.
So that when he swung it, that thing would be like, whoo. Mm-hmm. So he would just pick it up when I went in there and start flipping it around because he knew he was about to whoop my censored.
No, you could cuss, man. You could cuss.
But here's how bad it was. My mom had come in there and was like, listen, if I can say it, I'm going to say it. She was like, if you need to whoop his ass, you go right on ahead and do it.
Yeah, defend yourself.
That's how it was. It ain't this way now. Now you be the baddest kid in the school, and they give you an award for it. It's crazy, some of the stuff we see. Mm-hmm. But, hard growing up, but necessary.
So how long was it into your path did you realize, like, did you know early on, like, all right, this is all the bullshit I've been through. I don't want to be like that? Or was it like a constant, wait, let's not do that? It's constant relearning and retrying.
My mom having me at 15 and the dad not being there, that was my becoming Batman. I always look to that.
That was your canon event.
That's it. That's what motivates me to never be that guy. Like, you don't want to be that guy. You want to be there for your kids. You want to be there. You want to be take care of a woman that takes care of, you know what I mean? All those things and everything that I missed, I held on to that my whole life so I know what to be and how to be. Mm-hmm. So I've got 4 boys right now. One's an aspiring dentist. Another one is a sheriff. 11-year-old, a 9-year-old.
Damn, you birthed a sheriff?
Yeah, well, not me. So I was with a girl and she had a child, mixed child, and long story short, he ended up coming to live with me, and she had like almost nothing to do with him. So he was basically adopted by me. So when he was 8, I met my wife when I was on tour. Actually, they brought her in because Freeway got arrested at the airport. He was supposed to be there from Rock Nation. Yeah. So he was supposed to be there to record a track with me and got arrested at the airport. So they brought Philly's American Idol contestant winner in, this new female, AJ. That's where I met my wife, was actually at the studio.
Holy
so this
shit.
was Philly. This was you win this to get into the competition in front of the big judges. Mm. So these judges are just celebrities in the area. So it's one of those. So they ended up bringing her in. That's how I met my wife. So just crazy
Freeway.
sequence of events there. Yeah, so I wasn't expecting her. So she had an 8-year-old at the same time that my son was now 8 that I adopted. So when we got married, they were best friends because they were right on time, the same age.
Yeah.
Like they was the first time we took a trip, they was on Game Boys together, texting each other saying, I hope we never get separated. I'm so happy to have a brother. So they were thick as thieves, and, you know, they've been strong ever since. So I adopted both of them. So I had a mixed child, and then my wife's child was black, so I adopted him. And then our 2 children together are both mixed. So we are as diverse as it gets up in that house.
Yeah,
Come around Christmas
like
time, you're going to see the black Santa, the Bruce Lee Santa, the white Santa. You're going to see a dog Santa because you got this dog that I'm not allergic to, even though she drives me nuts. But
Can I be invited to be Latino Santa?
you can be the Latino
Yes.
Santa. Greg's coming.
Oh, yeah, Greg Madden.
Greg
shout out
is
to him.
Santa's past. He's coming.
I think Greg's the reason I know about you.
Greg is my man. He's so cool.
That's Greg Batten from WMBD,
Greg
The
Batten
Morning
is the
Show.
truth.
Greg and Dan, dope dude. He's currently doing his Life in Boxes tour.
It's so good.
He came out to promote it on the pod, so shout out to him. I think it's launching this weekend, November 4th, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
This pod will go up, I think, today or tomorrow.
And you
so.
want to see that. That thing will be sold out, man. It's
Shout out to
so
Greg.
good. It's so good.
Great guy, but we're talking about you now, man.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to hear about Greg Batten, go back to episode. I'm going to pull it up
Oh,
right
yeah. Go back to
now.
episode
Episode 37.
37 is great. Okay, there we go.
But you, Tightest Whitest, right? At what point did you know that, like, this wasn't just a side passion project or something you were working towards,
yeah.
that it was like, it's official, this is a career now?
As soon as I went back the next weekend and they did the battle rap and it happened again, and again, there's never anything that I've ever written down for a battle rap. It's just you go in and you, that's how it's supposed to be.
It's off the dome.
Anybody that comes in and, like, right now, it's so written, I don't even watch. I'm not even interested. You might as well just go put out a song, you know, because everything you did was written. It's not Top of the Dome. Top of the Dome is the only form of battle rap. Anybody out there that is a battle rapper understands what I'm saying, and if you don't, you're not on the level. You're simply not. So you need to be top of the dome. Once I started just dusting off everybody, I started moving to other cities that were having competition, started doing that. The next thing I know, I'm in a studio recording. That song comes out, and it catches the attention of Puffy. So my first anything...
Which song was that?
It was a song called Tightest Whitest. And I put it out, and at that time, MP3s were the new things. MySpace.com, that was where everything was at. And the radio station, man, they could play your music if they wanted to play your music. So I had released the song, you know, Just Let It Go. Anybody that wanted it could have it. The studio I was at, they were just handing it out, and the fan base was almost instantaneous. So we started a website, tightestwhitest.com. Within 3 months, I've got 2 or 3 million. And I'm not outside of this area. This is coming from a city that has 100,000 people. You know what I mean? Where am I getting this traffic?
Shit.
So it was that good. I got reached out from Bad Boy, and there was a situation with the studio I was at. And that's where I first learned about snakes in the grass. So you don't know it, but if I take a drink of water with my shirt off, all the water spurts out of my back like a Tom and Jerry cartoon from all the knives that have been in there.
Oh,
So
damn.
you learn about snakes, you learn about sharks, people that would cut your own throat to get ahead, that you're trying to help, that don't even really have the skill level, but you just believe that their talent will evolve. And even from that position of inability, they still try to strike like a snake. So you have to go through that, but you got to go through it. If you don't go through it, then you're not ready for what's ahead. God might not even give it to you. You know, you got to suffer, man. You got to suffer for this art.
How were you in those moments of learning? Like, did you internalize a lot of it, or were you like, you know what?
It's thought. It's deep thought. Like, I go into my thoughts. Like, I'm almost like an insomniac. I sleep a couple hours a night because I just lay there and think, and that's how I relax.
Oh, anxiety gets you.
I don't know if it's anxiety, but I just can't turn it off. Like, too much stuff's going on in there. So I don't get a lot of sleep, but it's been like that forever. So it's
is it about worrying what might come, what needs to come, what's not here?
Man,
or is it about what's happened in the past and you wish you could correct it?
It's about everything going on. Like you said, I got a lot going on, but like outside of what you said, like I've got 3 patents. I've got partners here. We're building stuff for the city. We're building stuff for the NBA. I've got the studio that's built. I got another studio, and I mean, I'm doing so much that when I finally can lay down, that's when I get a chance to stop and start thinking about these things, and I just keep working them into my field. So it helps me. So by the time, you know, I wake up, you know, from whatever amount of sleep I get, you know, I'm prepared. You know, I'm ready. Because otherwise, it's crazy. Like today, if I told you what happened to get here, you'd be like, dang, bro.
For real?
What's going on?
It's like that?
It was nuts. It was nuts. Like even the posters. So I hit up my guy to bring a couple posters for you, right?
Yeah, I see.
He said for the first time in 7 years I've been dealing with them, the internet's out. Couldn't do it. So I got to scramble and get to another one, have him meet me here. And I'm like,
you was texting me the address. I'm like, you know where we
it's
at.
across from the Twin Towers. They're like, it's from New York? I'm like, oh my God, text me the address, man. What am I dealing with here? But
you did say something really interesting there. I don't know if you could go into any detail, but you said NBA.
Yeah, yep.
What you cooking up?
So me and my partners, my partners are Marcellus Somerville from the Friendship House and Peoria golf legend Gene Petty.
Oh,
we
snap.
created something that's going to revolutionize basketball, and it's going to take something, and the best hint I'll give you is Shaquille O'Neal was notorious for failing at this. So that's the best I'm going to give you, but we invented something that's a game changer, and we've got things lined up with NBA teams, endorsements from the players for this product. We've got a patent for it.
All this in Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah, Peoria, Illinois. So my goal that took me off tour was finding my wife, because I didn't expect that. And up until then, man, I mean, I'm the tightest, man. I mean,
you was doing it.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, they throw themselves at me. So it's crazy, man. I mean, it really was, you know, nuts. But once I found her that I wasn't looking for, that changed those feelings. So now when I'm on the road, things that I used to look forward to is now I'm staying away from them. And it became, what am I doing out here? Like I'm making money, but I'm not messing with girls. I don't drink. I don't get into the party stuff. I'm not gangster, like none of that stuff. So after years of touring, I was like, man, I love writing so much. I've been writing for other artists. Let's do a movie. So I wrote Space Jam 2. Warner Brothers, Berg's office.
Wait,
sitting there.
What?
Here we go. So
the one LeBron James was it just in?
Mm-hmm. LeBron James originally was not in that. Kobe Bryant was in my movie. So Kobe Bean Bryant was in the movie. So I'm sitting there.
Now hold on.
Here we go. I'm gonna give it to you.
on.
I'm gonna give it to you. Ultimately, I'm sitting in Ted Field's office. Ted Field produced 3 Men and a Baby, Chronicles of Riddick, all these movies.
Yeah.
It's Radar Pictures. So Ted brings out his top writer, and they're sitting down, and they tell me the script is absolutely amazing. How I got there was a process, but the script was dope. So it's absolutely amazing. We got endorsements from Will Ferrell. I mean, everybody. We got endorsements, literally, and they're called LOIs, folks. Those are called letters of intent. So
to be in the
everything
movie?
From even domains like my Tweeter instead of Twitter with Tweety Bird on it to myspacejam.com. So we had everything lined up and met with William Berg several times at the Warner Brothers office. We were with the original writers from the movie, Ivan Reitman. We were at his home. His daughter was in the first movie, did the voices for that. So detailed, so deep. Michael Jordan turned down $10 million for 1 day of filming, just 4 hours. He turned down $10 million. Ultimately, it was in front of Broken Roads Pictures after Ted was unable to, he was going through some stuff with this thing. So we ended up at Broken Road Picture, which did like Here Come the Boom with Kevin James.
Great movie. I like that one.
So Bob and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy, but they decided they would take over the project and they were going to go get Jordan. Everything was in motion. They couldn't get Jordan. It screwed some things up. So ultimately, I got pushed out with my partner for the Ebersol brothers that came in once Kobe died. So they put the Ebersol's brother in, and they ripped off so many elements of the first script that we filed a class action level suit. So we're still waiting, and this has been ever since the movie came out. We're still waiting for confirmation for our first court date. But everybody knows Tightest gets everything in writing. Whoops. Whoopsie.
That's
so it's crazy.
That's street lesson 101.
They changed Kobe to LeBron and did some elements of it, but there's so many parts of it that are just unmistakable for what we wrote. And ours is registered with the Screen Actors Guild. You know, I mean,
I have so many questions. I don't even know where I want to take this now.
Sure. It's hard when people say, "What do you do?"
No, like I knew you done. Like I peeped. I did my research on you. I'm like, I know he's got his hands in a lot of things. And when we first met, your client was in Keith. Keith was going into one of the Marvel movies.
Yep.
And I was like, oh snap, he's got that. I'm like, okay, so I know he's doing some things, but I didn't know Space Jam 2 was yours.
Yep. So the original Space Jam 2, registered with the Screen Actors Guild, is mine. And then if you watch the movie or look at the script, parts of it are almost line for line from my script.
So what was the initial story you had with Kobe?
So with Kobe, what it was he's playing basketball with his dad out in the front, and he's shooting free throws, and he's about to make this last one before he comes in, and his final free throw, he misses because he looks up in the air. And what he sees is Bugs Bunny's spaceship whipping across from the first Space Jam. So John Lovitz is in this movie. Will Ferrell is in this movie. Ron Artest is in this movie. They become almost like Scooby-Doo characters, and it's a galactic fight. They end up under a dome. Oh, what happened in LeBron's version? What were they under?
Dome.
Yeah. So everything in my movie, the elements that made it a great movie, were in that movie. And it's just politics up there. It's not personal. Ebersol Brothers already had a contract with them. The guys up there love me, but it's just what it is, man. Like I say, it's snake eat snake up there. And in that world, I'm not a snake, man. I'm a gorilla. I'm a gorilla in that world. I stomp on them snakes, and I keep going because you can't tell a gorilla nothing.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I'm stopped because you stopped me. I'm going to find the other door in. So that's the story of my life, man. I knock on the other doors.
I got to ask you this, like, from where you grew up, were raised carrying rocks just to get by, right, to protect yourselves, to being in meetings with these cats, writing stories that have Kobe Bryant in it, getting all this acceptance.
Got music with Kobe Bryant that I haven't released before he died. I got music with Michael Jackson. I got music with Denon Porter from D12 who passed.
What?
Yep. So once upon a time, I ended up switching labels. I ended up signed to Kobe Bryant. He had Heads High Entertainment and Foster Family Entertainment. I did his website called The Social Butterfly, and I designed some of the hotels because I like to design buildings. So I designed some of those for the Ben Swa Ali. He's under a lot of trouble now, but then he owned a company called Rotana that still exists. So I ended up signed by Kobe. We had a track together called Champions. He died, and it disrupted everything from going out, but created legal things that stopped it. So what happened originally is right before we were supposed to, do the exchange of the money, and I talked to his mom the day before he got hit with the rape charge. They killed the label. They killed everything. And I talked to O'Shea directly. One of my good friends is Jared Washington. Jared Washington's married to his sister. So, Kobe was, I would consider him a friend. We had a relationship, business-wise, and we laughed. So, as far as a friend could be, I mean, that was cool. I had interactions with the man. But when
Kobe
that happened,
Bryant, it
folded everything. And the same with Shaquille O'Neal. I ended up with Michael Jackson. So Shaquille brought me in, and I was signed to, at first it was called Deja 3-4. First it was called Twism Records. That's what he had. That's when I was brought in. And he kept clashing with my manager that was Troy Sawyer, and I had Calvin out there. So because of those clashes and some more stuff, he switched teams, ended up in another state. Folded it and then rebranded it Deja 3-4. I think it was after his daughter, if I'm correct. So before that folded, I just got the Michael Jackson track with Shaq on it. That was basically my parting gift. And I've had it ever since. I released it overseas for one day, and got 2.5 million views. And then I pulled it right back off because I'm not ready for the release. 2.5 million views in one day. It's nuts. Ask me what I did over the quarantine.
What'd you do with the quarantine?
I recorded a song with Ed Sheeran. I recorded a song with Snoop Dogg. I recorded a song with Lil Wayne and recorded a song with a Lone Star. And ask me what I just did over the weekend at the Vault.
Hey, what'd you do at the Vault over the weekend, bro?
I am a feature on Ghostface Killer's new track with a Lone Star. And I just got one from Future that I'm going to be a feature on as well. And I'll give you sneak peeks of all that stuff.
Oh, that you said Ghostface, and that got my
Yep.
my jaw dropped on that. Like I know you said Kobe, you said Michael, and those are amazing, right? That's top tier.
Man, it's nuts.
But for a hip hop head, you're on a track with Ghostface Killer.
Yep.
The Ghostface Killer.
Yep.
How was that, dude?
Man, they hit me up from overseas, and they said, we've got a project with Ghostface, a Lone Star's on it, and they want you to drop on Future with a Lone Star as well. So Lone Star is the biggest artist in the UK. He just got 100 million plaque. I mean, his plaque is a yard. It's 3 feet long.
Is he considered British grime?
Hip hop rap. That's
Hip-hop
his
rap?
classification category out.
Because I know they got
Dominates.
grime music out there, and you know, you got Skepta, you got KSI, you got that huge entire library of
And then you see the numbers
grime.
they do compared to a
Dog.
Lone Star, and it doesn't even seem
their
like they're artists.
streaming numbers are crazy.
It's crazy.
And Lone Star is like a different category over there, dog. That's wow.
So I got those songs recorded. They haven't been released yet, but like I said, you can hear them ahead of time. No problem. I got you.
Hell yeah, I won't tell nobody.
Everyone, when they hear that Lil Wayne one, man, it's nuts.
Well,
man.
Wayne just dropped a new record.
Bro, like, it's all for
What do
me.
you say? Brand new money, brand new problems. Got a bag full of Funyuns, something. I don't know. That new line he said was wild, but I digress.
Something O's circle like Funyuns.
Yeah,
like that.
yo, have you ever? How often do you stop and you're like, you know what? This shit had to happen in order for this to prosper. Like, do you analyze that?
That's what I lay up at night thinking about how things went, what I can do better, how I can improve. You know,
Do you ever
I start rereading the room.
How about this? Do you ever stay up on the flip and just are gracious? Like, your gratitude's like, holy shit, I've done a lot of dope ass things.
It's in the same context when I'm thanking God for everything. It's in the same context. Like, I'll just stop and I'll just be like, dear Lord Jesus, you know, like, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunities. I even thank him for the bad stuff. I thank him because, like I say, sometimes you need that. You know, everybody needs a kick in the ass. You know what I mean? Gotta give it to you quick, man. You turn your back on them. So I think it's in the same breath as that. So as soon as I get happy, I start to get grateful because it can be taken away like that. So it's the caliber of person I've discovered. So as long as I stay me, everything that's against what I do, it can't win, man. And it don't, and it's not. I mean, I make my own lane.
Yeah.
So, and I've always done that. I always will. But it's God's the force, man. I'm not gonna sit here in front at all. And it's not like he's telling me, you know, go be a rapper or this. But I understand that you have to be a certain type of person in this world to be happy with who you are.
Of course.
So for me, you know, you got to give back. You just have to be a decent person, treat people with respect, you know, regardless of where they come from. And understand that just because you don't like someone's music does not mean that that music is trash. That trash music that you think is trash is someone else's gold too. That's the main thing. Y'all miss that out there. And you really got to start respecting the art. It's art. Just because you don't like Van Gogh doesn't mean he was a bad painter. His stuff goes for millions, and I wouldn't put it anywhere in the house. It looked crazy to me.
Dog.
So, you know, it just is what it is. So just respect people for their talent and just treat people like they're, you know, above you, and everything's going to be fine.
You
Just
know,
respect goes a long way.
I've seen this a lot in my life where you'll be in a room of cats and Once they know who's the VIPs, they kiss ass.
Yep.
But then here comes the clean lady or, one of the interns grunts are like, F you, dog. I'm like, bro, you literally just signed your faith in this community. Like, ain't nobody going to be rocking with you.
It's
How
like
you
that, too.
treat people when they got nothing to give you says a shitload about your character versus what they can and what you're going to be nice to them about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, remind me to tell you about Lil Bow Wow, man, because that was
a horrible experience.
nuts, my God.
What do you mean? Like, come on, no, let's talk about, you mean off mic? Or on mic?
I guess we could do it on the mic.
All
We're
right.
good.
If you want to do it on the mic, we'll talk about it
We'll
on the
do it
mic.
on the mic, man. So Bow Wow's here in Peoria, and I'm here performing the same show. So I'm backstage, and Bow Wow's little as shit, and his mom's back there, and his mom does something to the TV, and he's like, "Don't fucking turn that channel. You don't touch that shit."
Talking to his mama that
To
way?
his mom.
My mama beat my
And that
ass.
freaked me out. And I looked, and the security was just numb to it. And I was like, damn, he treats his mom like that? I didn't know that was his mom. I thought it was some manager or maybe someone that worked there.
He just
So I
talking to
found
him.
out later it was his mom. Now, from what I hear, he's mellowed out since then, and got more respectful. But talk about getting too much too soon.
Well, you only got one chance at a first impression,
Seeing
dude.
that, I mean, that's about as bad as I can go because I like bro, but back then that was nuts, man. Seeing that happen, like, ooh.
But you know what? This has burned me a lot. My ideology. I've always been raised with the concept of thinking everybody's got good in them, and I try not to judge people at their worst.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that if we do, then we judge everybody by that, or we judge none. Like that Ted Lasso saying, like, I hope none of us or all of us are judged by that moment because we all have those moments where we're completely out of character or we're engulfed by the power we got, the money we got, X, Y, Z. So, like you said, maybe he grew. Hopefully he did.
Yeah.
Because, this industry can do a lot to you.
Mm-hmm.
Media, entertainment, bro. I've seen some of the dopest cats come in with eyes full of gumption, ready to do the thing. And in 5 years, they stabbing somebody in the back just because the opportunity.
It happens all the time. It happens in your business. I'm sure you've seen it too. And the crazy thing that I've discovered about that is if those people just took a tenth of that energy to join the team instead of trying to become someone they're not, and they're not meant to be that person, if they would just give a little bit back and join a team, think about that. Think about how dope Peoria could really be. I'm the first to say how talented it is, but the same talented people are too concerned with holding others back. Why?
I'm going to tell you right now.
Let people
there's
shine.
3 cats, 4, well, I had Marcellus on it, but 3 cats that I've met. Shout out to Marcellus, dope ass dude.
Somerville.
Somerville, yeah.
Oh, my man, my brother.
Dude, he's dope. There's 3 cats I've met here in the town that have blown my mind with the amount of accolades y'all got. You're one of them, hands down. Like, I didn't know you had all this, dog. Like, I knew you had things. I knew you did traveling, but I didn't know Space Jam, Kobe, MJ, Ed Sheeran. Like, the list goes on there, right?
Next album's crazy.
What's it? Bob Robinson, big producer who grew up here. I met him at the Digham College Fair. Dope dude. Okay. And then I did a podcast with this cat. Let me bring it up real quick. Where is this? Glenn Bowie.
Okay.
Glenn, he was in town with the book, but he rubbed elbows with MJ also.
Yep.
So I'm like, we have 3,
I've met
4.
MJ too.
Dog, it's just like we have these cats here that have done amazing things, still pour back in the community. But imagine if we were that much more united, how dope we could make Peoria. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's my mission in town here. Like, I don't know how long I'll be here. I'm going to be here for ever long the community let me be. You know what I mean?
I told him off air, I'm like, you won't be here too long, man. My boy is on the rise up here, and these other bigger networks, they're going to be like, well, listen, we can't have him doing them numbers in Peoria. We snatching him. I'm going to have to go to New York for the next one.
Nah, man. Nah, I don't know about that.
You need to do a podcast. Listen, 50th podcast, let me come in and let me podcast you.
Podcast me on the 50th?
50th episode, let me podcast you.
We have 44, so we right there.
Yeah.
For
okay,
real?
we're going to hear his story. That's what we need to hear. Let me tell you what, this brother worked hard.
Hey, man, I just, there was a moment in my life where in Chicago, right? We'll give you a little glimpse into what I've been in, right? Since 2008 till 2021, radio was everything for me.
Yeah.
It's all I knew. Baseball, I was a lot thinner back then in high school. Had a lot more, I was in it. It got taken away from me. I threw my arm out. I went to college. I visited. My cousin knew the girl that was a GM of the radio station. She brought me in. She popped me on the mic. I was nervous.
That was it, though.
It was it.
That was it.
It was it.
Once you hit that mic, you know or you don't.
And from that moment in 2008 till 2021, everything was. I focalized my entire personality and character around my career. I'm talking about 6 months, no days off. Working double, triple shifts. You know how it is.
Yes.
You constantly on the grind. You got to prove something. And when that got taken away from me, bro, depression, anxiety. I started having, I felt lost.
Self-doubt.
Yeah. Oh, man. I can't tell you.
You start thinking people are right, man. That's
Dude.
that devil seeping in, man, because you're on the track, man. That's the devil.
When I tell you, bro, like, I sent out so many demos, so many air checks, so many, hey, can I get some feedback? And I get little to nothing. Man, you know how that is as a creative when you're first starting.
In the garbage.
How was that moment for you? Like before you transitioned into actually being an entertainer that got these opportunities, that little hump that you had to get over. Like, how was that moment for you?
We had there was the hip hop station was I think it was called Power 92. And I beat them for months. A CD every single day. I bring a CD and drop it off every single day. These other artists drop off one, think they did something. Every single day. This went on for months. They had a stack of CDs, at least 2 feet of mine, that were just sitting over by the garbage to go out, like with the other CDs. So what happened was... my name started to get out from shows I'm doing. They still won't play me on the radio. They don't do any of that. So finally, they picked up one of the CDs, and they decided to put it in. They called me before the song was over to come in. When I got there on air, they said, he is like one of the greatest rappers we have ever heard. We apologize to our fans. This man's been coming up here for months. Man, give it up for this man. From that point on, the radio station was so cool with me. I could just walk in to anybody's session and walk right in that door in the middle of your thing, and you would look over and be like, hey, Titus, what's up? So it was Scott and Jen that ran the station. And
Scott Blaze?
Scott, no, not Scott Blaze. I'm trying to think of the last name. Scott and Jen was their on-stage name. Scott, I don't know. I have to get back to you on that one. But they put my song on the air, and it was the #1 song for the next month, and it beat out Nelly and Eminem combined.
How'd that feel?
It was dope. So then when it was #1 the next month, they give me a plaque, and they said the most requested artist, the most played artist in Peoria's history. So I got one of those on the wall. So I did the Riverfront show when I brought Bone Thugs and Harmony to open for me with Cuckoo Cow. Cuckoo Cow got arrested at the airport. That show on the Riverfront did over 8,000 people in attendance. I have the biggest turnout for any event under that bridge in Peoria's history to this day. So 2 big things for this city. So I'm like, I need to be the city. I need to breathe into this. So I focused everything on my writing to movie, TVs, still music, still everything, anything I could think of. I mean, I do children's books. I'm a published author, everything, diverse children's books. So that people if you got one white parent and one black parent, in my book, you can see yourself represented. If you're in a wheelchair, you can see yourself represented, man. I got you. Let's read about you, your adventures. So, like I say, I even lost track of where I was just at with it.
You've been doing a lot. I mean, let's talk about your newest thing that you got coming out, the movie.
Yeah. So Irresponsible launches November 18th, one night only in Champaign at the Virginia Theater.
Yeah. So 203 West Park Ave in Champaign, Illinois.
Yep. 7 o'clock. It holds about 1,400 people. It should be very packed. The eye's going to be on it across the state. Media, news, everything. It's going to be a real event. So the stars of the movie will be there. I'm one of the executive producers of the movie, but I'm also an actor outside of that, director. So I did some acting in the movie, and I actually ended up having to get surgery from the movie. So we had just...
Is that why you were...
That is. So you want to hear the story?
Yeah, come on.
So, I'm playing an over-the-top FBI agent, and I looked at the script, and I just created my own script in my head. So it was so funny that the cameramen were laughing on the floor at almost like every scene at the stuff I was doing. I'm just having fun, I'm a goofball, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love making people laugh.
You good energy where you go.
And I try to exude it. So I got this character idea in my head of this weirdo FBI agent. Anyway, super, super funny. So we just finished shooting my scenes for the day, and we had been on location for 14 hours straight. So I noticed there's a boom mic laying across the steps, and I was like, man, have one of them grips pick that mic up. Someone's going to trip on it. I said that, right? You know where I'm going with this now. Go up there, finish shooting the interrogation scene. I walk, and second to the last or third to the last step, I trip over that boom mic that I pointed out to move before.
No.
Landed on my kneecap, and my leg went the wrong direction sideways. So they said that I snapped it back into place, like Lethal Weapon, and my toes started wiggling, and I was like, I'm fine, stood up and collapsed. Next thing I know, I'm in the ER, and my wife's there. It was the day before Father's Day, and she had come to town to surprise me with the kids, knowing that I was stuck on location filming.
No.
She's at the ER. I think I'm dreaming. I'm like, holy shit, is Jesus here too? What's going on? I don't know where I'm at.
Is this it?
Like, is this part of the scene? Like, am I in the middle of a scene that I'm unaware of? Nuts. I go back the next day and finish shooting my scenes. I'm sitting down for these scenes, and my legs covered up. They blocked it from the camera. Ended up putting my wife and my kids in the movie as well as actors. It was just absolutely crazy. Nuts.
So what is this project? What's the story behind this movie?
Oh, so this particular one is about a guy that is trying to show his girlfriend that he's ready to get married and he's responsible. But she's like, you're too kiddish, you're not ready for this. So he wants to take care of her niece and nephew for the day. Their babysitter didn't show, whatever the case. So he's got a wedding ring. The wedding ring gets lost. This neighborhood, what do you want to call it, hoodlum or whatever, but a funny dude, like a Kevin Hart character, played by Dre Spraggs, who's a super funny comedian. Opposite of Chris Hightower from the Steve Harvey Show, TMZ, TNT. So this whole thing, he's trying to prove it, but they're trying to track down this ring, and it gets mixed up. The ring ends up somewhere where they think it's this money from the big boss. So this whole thing, and at the end of the movie, everything just comes together. Super, super funny. You can't watch it and not laugh.
It's one of them wholesome, good-hearted, fun-time movies.
Yep. So we have it slated for a Netflix release next summer. But honestly, I'll let you know this. T.I. was slated to be here, so I'll be doing the after party and the meet and greet. T.I. and Ja Rule will be in attendance, not Nelly, not Ashanti, because they're back together, so they're not doing any of these appearances. So T.I. is already in my camp as far as what I do in other states and that. So what he did is he developed a platform on Instagram where he created a TV show with a $9 buy-in, and you can watch the entire season. He just did what NFTs did to the world. So he had 970,000 buy-ins at $9 a piece. Do that math. So we're rethinking Netflix, and we may possibly end up on that platform. We also did get an invite from Tubi because we have a multi-film project, so it could be there. Right now, we're just happy to have more options than Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. And we're going to make a major announcement at the movie premiere of another movie that we're filming. And I'll tell you about that before anyone else does. Scare Busters. Ooh.
Scare Busters?
It's dope. and we're about to start filming.
Is this the thing you want to talk to me about?
Nope, you're getting something else. And when I do this thing I'm talking about, I got to call my wife. She wants to be on the call too. So it's one of those.
For real?
Watch. Is that her? Watch that be her. Because I just said wife. Oh, nope. Danny Bellini's calling. Danny Bellini is a superstar writer. We've got a project called The Lot that's getting ready to take place in St. Louis. David Wright's one of the producers. We had Paul Eckstein on board for this project. Paul signed off on this project, and it's the most amazing thing. He produced Godfather of Harlem. He produced Narcos. Anything this guy touches, it gets on the air. We signed a deal with him. 1 week later, he gets the jab. And he gets the jab to make sure that pre-production can start on another project. 1 week later from the jab, he's gone. Died. Paul Eckstein died. My brand new partner. One of the most influential writers in the world. So that's crazy how the ups and downs are. Like, I'll give you another ups and down. Saturday, just this last Saturday, I'm taking a nap. The boys are tired. They come lay with me. So we're laying there talking, and they're talking about this, that, or the other. I'm falling asleep. I get a call at 11:45. Tightest, man, we need you for an event today, man. Can you be out to an event? And I'm like, oh, God, but it's for the Friendship House. So I'm like, yeah, it's Marcellus. I got him. So I'm supposed to go host it all of a sudden out of nowhere. So when is it? Oh, it's at 2 o'clock in 2 hours. Okay, all right. It's Marcellus. I got him. So I get there to host it, and they're like, no, you're not the host. I'm like, what am I doing? I walk in there. It's a boxing ring set up with an actual amateur boxing bout sanctioned by the state. From Robert Bell. I'm the announcer. I'm Bruce Buffer up in that mug.
Hell yeah.
So all of a sudden, I jump right into character. I'm like, and in this corner, fighting out of KOK Gym, we got one hot after
Hey.
Muggs is looking at me like, oh shit, that's legit. I'm looking over, man. Everybody knows who I am up there. The police chief comes over, we dapping, the boys are there. Love the boys. And that's just random, just happened on a Saturday. I got events later on that night, but just, so when I was supposed to go there for a half hour, it's 14 fights. I'm there for like 6 hours almost. So my voice was gone Sunday, Monday. Now I finally got it back for the podcast.
Yeah.
Bring it back for the podcast.
Like
but just crazy.
Dog.
Ups and downs are nuts, man. I never know what's going on. I could be judging a volleyball tournament tomorrow. Never done that. Who knows?
I definitely get those requests like, hey, can you do this? It's all last second. I'm like, I wish.
A week from now, someone could say this phrase and be correct. They could be like, I saw you on Camelback on University. What? And they could have something like that. And I'd be riding a camel for charity.
He was doing a movie.
Yeah, I was. I was writing Jay-Z.
With everything, man, from where you began holding rocks to
not those kind of rocks.
Not those rocks, not the actual physical rocks.
Yeah.
And
those little rubber balls that bounce high. I remember having those too. Just so I could swing enough to get in the building. Once I got in the building, I could run to this area and other kids were there and they'd be like, leave them alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were safe.
I was little too, so.
From where you started in life to where you are currently, man, what has been personally the one accomplishment that has made you smile the most?
Well, there's 3. 2 of them are the same. Falling in love with my wife was something I didn't expect. That changed everything because I did not know, although I thought I had been in love before several times. Once you're actually in love, that's different. That's different than anything else, and it changes before then, I'm all about what I need to accomplish on this earth to get to where I want to be. And all of a sudden it became, what does she want to accomplish? How can I help her get to that? That changed me.
In that moment, you became selfless.
And although I had 2 kids, I did not have any that were birthed. And I love my kids all the same, but when your kids are born for the first time, they're born for the first time. You only get one of those. And when my first son came out of the womb, I was like, I love him the same way I love Hive, the same way I love Ian. It wasn't this another level that I just thought was going to happen I was going to have to lie about. it felt like my third kid was born. And that is what did it. I realized how much I really love these kids, and that now everything I do needs to be to make sure that they don't have to worry about life in the future, and they can be set up with a good head on their shoulders, and they can produce better than I am. So the importance is being better than me. Live better, make better choices, be smarter, stronger, faster, ready for this world. So for me, it was falling in love with her, and then falling in love with protecting these kids. So those two things made it to where now when you come over to the house, which, you know, you're invited, my office is in the center of the house. My office is a gigantic space, and I do everything I can from that space. So I do a lot, like you said, I do a lot of charities through the city. I mean, everything right there on the computer. Everything. When I do the Christmas drive with the toys are filled in the office all the way to the damn ceiling until I can get rid of them all. So the office is where it all happens. So I do it here. I have to travel very little. Sometimes I do have to travel. When I release the second album, I'll have to do a lot of traveling for tour dates and stuff, but I'm not looking forward to it. But I will be taking the wife and kids with me, so that'll be fun for them. We'll get them out there and do it.
I like that.
But I like to be at home. I like to be with the kids, and I like to do as much as I can surrounded by, you know, what I love the most. So I'm lucky enough to do it.
I always like to ask. I always got told from early age, don't ask your single friends what love is.
Yeah.
Ask those that are in it and still thriving in it. So
I thought I knew what it was.
I'm a single dude.
I'm not worried about this.
I'm gonna be dead ass honest with you. I'm a single dude that, you know, has my ups and downs. So what is that real love that you're talking about?
I'll tell you this, you're gonna know it as soon as it happens. Because everything else you thought was on that level, there's a level above it, and it doesn't reveal itself, and you don't even know that it's there. You have no clue it's there. I've been in love 5 or 6 times. Like, there's been a couple of girls I would have considered maybe marrying or something, you know, along the way. They were so badass, and I'm just driven by that. Now I'm driven by her wants and her needs instead of how good she looks or what her body's like and, you know, what's she going to do for me, you know, this, that, or the other. You know, these things that you just take for granted, you know, are the simplicities that actually make you happy. So I had to go through all that to understand that this is what I was actually missing. Like, these girls, they'll leave me and they'll go to the next guy. This woman right here, not only would she not go to the next guy, but she going to call me while that next guy's in the room saying it so I can come home and handle that. You know what I mean? I got one of those. So once you have that, it just creates a new perspective. It's like finding out you can sing for the first time in the shower. You're like, holy crap. Or the first time you jump up and can grab the rim. You don't expect to be able to grab that rim the first time. And when you do, it's like, holy crap. Like, man, I'm Michael Jordan now. You know what I mean? You're not nothing, but you're grabbing the rim. So those were it. Those were the changers. Those were the drive. And now I've been able to mesh everything into a space here in Peoria. So now I will have to do some moving and stuff when the lot starts. I have to be in St. Louis a lot. We're looking at a place in Florida too, but I'll always have the house here. I'll always, you know, be home. You know what I mean? This is my spot. Everything else will be just temporary until I can keep coming back home. So lots going on.
Let me ask you that. Of everything you've been through, all this, man, how do you feel about Peoria in general? Not just being home, but what does Peoria mean to you in your journey?
I'll tell you about Peoria because I've been here forever. I've seen all the ups and downs. I've seen the businesses come and go. I've seen the people that think they deserve. I've seen the people that don't know that they deserve. And what I get from this city is it is a city that is busting with so much pure talent that it is just ridiculous to see it dwarfed by so much pure hate. I myself, like, you know, I'm definitely invited to the cookout and stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff that goes on in this city where I'm not even a thought. You know, you'll do like let's say Kobe Bryant. They'll do something, a seminar about Kobe Bryant and his music and how it influenced. Like, I knew the guy. I made music with him. I was signed to him. I built his website. I'm not even a thought in those processes to some of these things at my level. So imagine how that is to somebody, else that's not at my level when that's all they got is that relationship with there and they're not getting the call. So that's what Peoria is. They don't even call me for some of the things that I might be the only person that can speak on it. And I'll see these things pass and I just take notes of it and I just keep it moving. But that's what Peoria is. If Peoria could get out of Peoria's way, we would see just an increase in everything from here, from intake of people to more jobs created, everything. But that's Peoria's biggest hindrance. And you know what? It's indicative of just about every city you go. The talented people, once they recognize their talent, they tend to try to stop less talented people or more talented people instead of just holding the door for them. I mean, think about this. If you have talent, what would you want someone to do for you today? Would you not want someone to open the door, take a chance on you, and do this? So when you get there, why don't you do that for them? That's Peoria. Peoria is an amazing place, a great place to raise kids. It's got bad areas. It's got great areas. You can do anything here. I did everything here. I can do anything from here. You can do anything from here. But there is a lot of people that don't like to see success and they're clicked up and whatnot. But more and more, you see that dissipate. So my thinking is maybe 20 years from now, this can be, a different state of affairs out there. So right now, I tell anybody if you're, if you want to move to Peoria, it's a good spot. You need to avoid certain schools, certain areas, just to be on the safe side. That's everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah, every city.
You got that in New Hampshire. Like, you got it everywhere, folks.
Gee, in Chicago, there's areas.
Yeah.
I'm invited to certain places. I ain't going to certain places.
So you'll have that. But all in all, man, Peoria is inviting. Peoria is giving. And Peoria has more people that genuinely care about folks than anywhere I've ever been. Any charity I'm involved with, these people are legit. Look, and it warms me.
I'm going to be dead ass honest with you, right? In April, I'll be here 2 years. Oh, shit, it's been 2 years already. Damn. And the one thing that makes me really love this area is the big heart people got. I be seeing everybody in this community willing to give back, especially to the kids. I be seeing that a lot. I'm like, oh, that's dope. I see all these book bag drives, all this stuff happening, right? Yeah, I see all these block parties. I see, Proctor Rec is doing a lot of dope things.
One of the times I met you, I was out here doing my toy drive for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah.
The next time when I do the food for Easter, you always right here in the
I'm
studio.
always somewhere, bro. Like, I'm like you, just a little bit light.
My brother from another mother right here.
Bro,
we're looking in a mirror right now.
Man, this side of the mirror a little heavy with it, but I'm down, dog. No, I just really love how Peoria... It is that city that once they accept you, you in.
Yeah.
But the flip of that is there's a lot of silos.
It's the people that accept you, they're also lined up with the people that don't accept you.
Unfortunately.
And it's a hindrance. So for me, the people here are really, really good. It's when you get into the talent that we have so much of, it's just so much of that talent just doesn't want to see other talent. And they lose themselves trying to prevent other things from happening, where, man, I tell you, help. That's it. Be help. Like, man. Why be a hindrance? Be help. It's going to come back to you. It'll come back.
Not only that, but like for me, right? I like to look for talent that is either close at my level or better. Because if you're going to come in with the A+, I got to come in with 2+.
What a great mindset.
You know what I mean? Like, if you are that damn good, that's going to make me that much better. And I know that's kind of like selfish, but that's how I internalize competition.
That's drive. That's self-motivation. That's
that Kobe stuff.
That's
like,
how you live
I
long.
Want you at your best. So when I beat you, you know what I mean?
I don't want to hear your leg hurt.
Respectfully.
Hear about that war injury.
You know where I got that mentality from? The Rock versus Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Here we go.
I need to beat you, Rock. You remember that old promo, WrestleMania 18 or something like that? That's where I got that passion for. I'm like, okay, I need me a Stone Cold, bro. I need me a Stone Cold. Because I was always the Rock.
He said he got rock bottom into where he's at now.
All right, let me ask you 2 last questions, B.
Sure.
What other stuff you got coming up, and where can people get in contact with you to get involved and to hear, maybe just to meet you for coffee and you be like, yo, maybe this is my opportunity to show you what I got?
Well, so we've got the Peoria Hair and Fashion Show coming up. It takes place at the Pier Marquette, December 10th. So that is a place. The venue is crazy expensive. Go try to rent it, and then you'll understand. You're not going to be able to rent that. So it's crazy expensive, but it's beautiful, and it gives us the ability to showcase talent. Now, what we do is we bring in the 50, 60 vendors, and they're selling everything you can think of, from coats to jackets to makeup to pictures with hair that comes out of there with jeans. Amazing stuff you can't find anywhere else on earth right before Christmas. So we do that, and then we also have a handful of charities. This year is going to be the Children's Home Away, which is over there by Rolling Acres School. And what they do is take in families that cannot provide for themselves, medical expenses and whatnot, and it's child related, so we really like to help them. So this year they're our direct charity. And in this event, we bring all the talent from Peoria that wants to be in this, and we let them do this for free. No other venue like this will let a person come perform without charging a rate. You cannot do that outside of this area. So for us, if you got talent, we showcase you, we put you in the show. It's about you. My wife said she got tired of finding out about places in Peoria after they're gone. So she always hear about it, and she's like, I never know it was there. She got tired of hearing that phrase.
Hell yeah.
That's the talent that's here. That's why we do the vending, how we do it. That's where we bring in, the performers and whatnot. So for her, there was never, she's been here for 14 years, married with me. And she used to go to Atlanta, Chicago, New York to just get a fashion show in, to go get a hair show in. So she created it out of thin air here, and it's so powerful that we're one of the premier events of the city now. So we have the who's who. The mayor comes out. Rita comes. I said the mayor and Rita, same person. She's got a disguise. She's Batman and Robin. She's really dope, but she comes out and supports. The chief comes out and supports.
The chief is great about coming out and supporting local stuff.
Chief's
man.
my guy. We got an event this week, and he just invited me to Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, they got that here? I didn't know that was happening.
Dancing with the Stars. He invited me and my wife to come hang out with him. So good dude, man. I love the chief. He helped my son get into law enforcement.
Oh, for real?
So my son started off in the police force under him and then switched to the sheriff's office. He wants to be a U.S. Marshal eventually because he saw this movie called Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
I'm just joking, Javi. I had to do that in case he's listening out there.
He's like, what, Dad?
No, he's out of the prison right now working. So that's coming up there. I do a ton of comedy shows throughout the year. So I have a Facebook page you can follow, Tightest Brian Yarbrough. But usually my events are pretty well showcased. I will say this, if you guys would like to, please reach out to Ross for my Christmas and for my Easter, I guess you call it activism, whatever you want. But I find kids for Christmas presents where they're in safe homes. They're hiding from parents that want to kill them, beat them. They don't think Santa's coming for them if their own dad beats them. You know, this is who they're hiding from. Mm-hmm. So I show up dressed as Santa. Eddie, 6'2", my elf. He's got the elf ears.
Eddie Parker?
And we give them a Christmas. And we do this for, I go through 2,000-3,000 presents doing this for kids that actually really, really need this. And
Man.
They don't have hope. They don't have hope. And when they see Santa and get to talk to Santa, and they just the first present, they think that they've died and gone to heaven. By the time they open their 100th present, whatever we got for them, and we bring them bikes, we bring them laptops, we bring them iPads. I mean, people give because they trust me to give. And I give like crazy. I go into debt for this culture out here like you wouldn't believe. I take a loss for this culture, I'm telling you. And I do. I take losses for it.
I respect that,
But it's more important, to help these people that really need it. But the main thing is, and I'll tell you this, there's an old meme out where a guy's got a cell phone and he's taking a picture of himself handing change to a homeless guy. And I used to look at that and I would be like, man, what a jerk. But then, man, I started thinking to myself, what if someone sees that and they go out and do the same thing, even though they're looking for clout. But that's another homeless person that just got helped. And what if some other jackass goes out there for the clout and does? That's a third person that got help. So I started understanding that inspiration comes from the weirdest places, and even an asshole can inspire you to do good. So
I've never thought about it like that.
I started letting people know what I do. For years, I did this secretly. I just did my Christmas stuff. I didn't broadcast it. I don't broadcast any of these charities, but my wife's like, you have to start doing this. You need to show people how this is done, and that you can be one individual and go serve 100 people in one day, turkey meals that ain't going to eat on Thanksgiving.
That's crazy because it comes back to a philosophical question of do the means justify the ends, or the ends justify the means? But you're doing good.
So now I show people what I do, and I'm like, come on aboard. So now people help. They really do.
Because you never know, bro. There might be one cat that sees you do something, but like, wait. And it could be from a selfish standpoint. Like, if he's doing it, I could do it. Mm-hmm. But then they go create an event, becomes annual, and they help out an entire other sector of the community.
Think about this. We started the Hair and Fashion Showcase. Yeah. Now there's a hair and fashion something going on every weekend in Peoria.
Yeah, and we got Peoria Fashion Week. Ezra and Chanel.
Yeah, Ezra and Chanel, my brother and sister.
I love them. They've been amazing to me.
Yep. There's two. Let me tell you just real quick, if I can. Let me just brag on a homie real quick. Ezra, man, that brother will go so hard for you. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. And Chanel is one of the sweetest people, and she also tries to let people shine.
Extremely
She's also
authentic.
Overlooked for a lot of things, like how, a lot of people are, though, but she's one of those people that does a lot of things that gets overlooked for things.
She might be busier than you, dog.
She's really busy.
She
but,
up there.
Her job is to do that. Her job is to be active and to do these events for the kids.
She's with the Park District, right?
Park District, yep. Mm-hmm. She's thriving out there. She's amazing at what she
both
does.
Both them. Remember what I was talking about, the KZ4?
Yeah.
On my short list, he's on it.
Ez was already on mine. Ez was on mine. I already had Ez for you.
He was one of them. I immediately I reached out to him, talked to him. I got
Ezra. I got DJ Mimic. Yeah, Linwood. He's coming in. I love Linwood, man. That's my boy. We're gonna bring in Yvain. We're gonna bring him in.
You gotta bring these cats in because I got what do you call it? John Davis.
Okay, yeah.
John Davis.
We're gonna bring in Spilla.
Keith McDonald. I got both them. Keith Mack. I'm starting to create a list. I'll tell listeners a little bit more about it eventually when we get this stuff.
Oh, my man's platinum planning over here. Get ready. He got some great stuff lined up.
It's the thing with Peoria is such a dope ass town.
And you're about to start a whole new thing. Like, this is going to be something that we do next year and the year. See, this is creation.
It is, but creation comes with a lot of organization skills.
Yes, brother, man.
If I showed you my Google Doc of like, here's my color code system, like, bro, a nursing student would be proud of me, bro. Like, that's how great. And mind you, I never thought I would be this cat. I was a dude in college that had like a Sixer or a Blast in my book bag. I'd be going to the library and watch World Star Hip Hop.
Man.
I've come a long way, Doc. I've come a long way.
I used to have to go to the library to log into MySpace just to see how my music's doing. You know what I mean? Back in the day. Like, man, like,
Dog,
starving artists, that's a real thing, man. When you're out there struggling.
That was the era. But this is how I like to end the pod, bro. Each of these episodes, for me personally, are a collection of stories. Yeah. People.
Except for episode 50, that's my collection of the stories. Episode 50, man, we got to do that.
No, we're doing that. It's on the list.
We got to go. We got to video it. We got to get it in.
Where I'm in that chair.
You're wearing a fedora, everything. I'll have you like something up in here.
I'm down.
Cuban links.
I mean, I'm the program director.
I
think I
get
away with it.
Pointy shoes that shine. If we got to get him out of Eddie's closet.
Oh, yo! But let me ask you this. So, I take away a gold nugget from everybody's story, but that's my perspective sitting here, right? For me, it seems like your story is a labor of love, right? It might not be what you want. I mean, I'm going to ask you this after this, but from my perspective, as I'm sitting here hearing you and hearing all this, it's a labor of love. Yeah. And the love intensified that story to take you to a whole new platform. That's what I got out of it. But for everybody else listening, when your story's done, what do you want people to get out of your journey?
My journey, man, if I can leave one message to the world, it would say, marry who you love, wait to have kids until you're in love, and take care of your kids. That would be the message I would leave out of everything that I do on this earth. Because at the end, that's my drive, is them. So that would be it. Take care of your kids, be a better father than you had, and love your wife. And everything else will come. I tell them that should be their focus.
I adore that, dude, because from a guy that wants to be a father one day and wants to find a good woman, like that's dope to me, dude. Like no matter what you've accomplished in your life, the things that stood out the most was you found a great woman, you have a great family, and you have drive and accomplishments. But your main
they're my
comfort and your main thing that pushes you, Brian, forward. You know what I mean? Like not Tightest Whitest, it's Brian. Like, this is who you are as a person, and you're being pushed forward into this whole new stratosphere of doing things. Like, bro, you done some dope-ass things.
Yeah.
And you still doing dope things.
Yeah.
But you have great people in your corner.
It's about to get doper as soon as this is over, and I've put my wife on this call with you because... Man, well, unless it doesn't go my way, then I'm gonna be like, man, on the 50th podcast, I'm going in on you. You better come on.
So I gotta do it.
Yeah, you got to, man.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna call his wife. We're gonna have this phone call off air, and you'll probably see a Facebook post. It's something I'm doing eventually.
You know, you'll see a Facebook post. It'll be coming. It'll be loud.
Oh, I don't know what I got signed up for, but you know what? I am downs.
Yes, you heard him. That's a verbal commitment in Illinois. I can sue him. Illinois is jacked up with that stuff.
Unfortunately.
You're got.
But I was joking. All right, that's been another episode.
Let's edit joking out, and we'll have the episode complete. Can we do that in editing? Thank you, Ethel. Thank you.
Thanks, Ethel. I don't know who Ethel is, but she's hired. All right, that's been episode 44.
44.
Of the KZ Community Beat. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. That was Tightest Whitest, one of the greatest here in Peoria. Amigos. Doing it all.
Muchachos.
Go back and check out all our other episodes. If not, I don't know. What's a good diss?
If not, then may you eat at Arby's every day at 11:45 right before lunch. May you get that food that they have right before lunch.
I'm glad you said it and not me. In case
order their burger. That's what you get. Order that burger.
Wendy's does not pay for anything here. If they'd like to, we could talk and we'll edit that out.
Simpson said it the best. He looked at Milhouse's dad, and Milhouse's dad was standing over a carcass of a platypus, and he goes, "I'll just throw that over the fence and let Arby's worry about it."
Go back and listen to other episodes. If not, I hope you have a minor inconvenience today.
We love you. We love you.
Peace.
Stay positive.